welcome to NIJ Changemakers. This is Priyanka and I am here today with Mr. Ankit Mishra. He is the CEO of StoryXpress. Ankit, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Priyanka.
Now, StoryXpress is a platform that basically allows you to create videos in like sometimes less than 5 minutes. That's what you said, right?
Right.
So can you explain a little bit about what StoryXpress is and how you came about it?
Sure. So at StoryXpress, we have built a cloud-based video creation platform where anyone can create a good-looking video without any design skills or video editing skills,
Right.
using just images, text, and small video clips. So like 4 years ago, when I was studying at IIT Hyderabad, we had a course called multimedia processing, which was about image and video processing. And instead of doing a core research-based project, we thought, let's build something which has some application to it. And at the same time, I was interested in storytelling in general. So this was the idea that there should be an easy way to tell stories using pictures, text, and small video clips.
So this started basically as a college product, right?
Right, yeah.
So what was the differentiation? How did it evolve into something for retailers?
Right, okay. So the initial idea was to build a mobile application using which you can tell your stories. So let's say you had a birthday party and you would have clicked few pictures, or you went to a trip and you want to share that story in a video format. You should be able to do that very simply. Instead of using a tool like After Effects or Final Cut Pro. So we started with that idea, and that's why we called it StoryXpress.
Nice.
And over the times when we were in the video industry, we started digging deep into the video industry. And what we found was with YouTube and Facebook coming in, now a lot of independent video creators started creating the videos, which earlier was being done by only the large production houses. And if you look at the other side of the video production, which is video ads, right? So even after YouTube and Facebook coming in, only the big brands were creating videos.
That could afford them, because this is expensive,
right? Exactly. So now think of a small mom and pop store or a boutique who would want to leverage video advertising on platforms like YouTube. They did not have a tool to create that. So we then pivoted ourselves from a mobile application to a B2B platform where any small business can come on the platform and sort of start creating the videos. So we pivoted to a B2B model, and then from there we started looking at some of the industries where we can get the scale from, and e-commerce or retail seemed like a good place where there are lots of products for which people would want to create the videos.
Right.
And then we started going deep down into the retail in general. So now we work with a lot of retailers and brands to convert their online catalog into a video catalog.
So now one of your biggest clients is Target, which is still very much in the US, right? You do work with them, but they are based in the US.
Right,
correct?
exactly.
So now it's funny that you mentioned e-commerce and online platforms, because that is a booming, I would say, industry in India right now. And I would say recent reforms as well as just growth in general of the economy is leading to a lot of growth in e-commerce and online platforms as well. Even simple things like smartphone usage, which has more than doubled in the past 3 to 4 years. Is this helping you out?
So now what we are trying to do with some of the e-commerce companies in India is providing these videos in a vernacular languages where these videos will act like a salesman on the e-commerce platform. So now imagine when I walk into a store in a smaller town and I want to buy a washing machine or refrigerator for that matter. So I might be buying these product for the first time and they have complexity involved in it. So the salesman tells me in my language, which I understand, about the features of the product and how they can use it. So now with our videos, what we are trying to enable is when we are working with the US customer, the kind of format that we have is you can create a video using pictures and text. But now with the Indian context, what we are trying to do is a video has been created which will increase the engagement for the your millennial customers, but if we go to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, we are trying to come up with assisted voiceovers within the video.
So what I can hear from you is that this is a brand new angle, which is I think unique to India, because now in America, by and large, video content is in one language and
Right.
it's all over the country, right? But in India, because of our culture and because of the many dialects that we have, you have this sort of target, I wouldn't even say regional, but very specifically regional and local video content that's being produced.
Right.
So if I've understood you correctly, I think that the growing e-commerce platforms and I think reforms such as, let's talk a little bit about foreign direct investment, because I think these reforms are actually helping you
Right.
in terms of just being able to produce new videos in a new angle that's very unique to our audience, right? An Indian audience. So in terms of foreign direct investment, is that helping you out as well? Since you work in the US as well as...
Okay. I think with the foreign direct investment coming in, there will be more players in the market, and they will have a lot more money to invest in the experiences or to improve their engagement on their platform. So I think that's gonna
Your
definitely,
future clients.
yeah. So they will definitely be our future clients.
Where do you feel that the retail industry is obviously growing, but in which direction do you feel it's headed toward?
Retail is now online plus offline, right? And if you still look at
unorganized, right?
it's unorganized, right? And if you still look at some of those numbers, although online has become really big, but I think it's only a minuscule percent of the entire retail market. So one, I think online is definitely gonna grow big, and you can make sense by all of the investment happening in the online space. And then secondly, it's more about increasing purchasing power and the increasing GDP and all of those things. So people are naturally buying more. So the industry is huge and it's growing, and yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this engagement and loyalty. Right now, one thing that I've noticed is I have not grown up with Musical.ly, and these are fairly, like Snapchat it came about when I was still studying, right? So it was fairly new to us. But now I think the next generation, as you said, Gen Z, it's almost innate to them, right? Like they're so used to consuming video content. So I'm going to use Facebook because I think everyone knows about the Facebook anniversary videos and the personalized videos that they send. So if it's your birthday or your friend's birthday or like a friend-iversary or an anniversary, you'll get that personalized video. Now, in the beginning, this was like so cool, and we would share it all over each other's walls. And if there was an interesting picture between you and your friend or whoever, you'd share it very enthusiastically. Now, when I see the same video, I kind of look at it and I say, oh, that's nice. But it's more difficult for me to, not even more difficult, but I think I've seen so many of these videos pop up and they're kind of the same that I am less inclined to share them. So how do you plan to change your video content, or maybe the format of your videos? Where do you see, since you are making it very easy to produce this content, making it very easy maybe for the retailer to produce this content, how do you plan to add features that would keep people engaged? Because you're not doing it for personalization. Actually, I rephrase that. You are doing it for personalization, but I think your goal is more loyalty and engagement, right?
Right. So I think to your point, when we are working with retailers to create product videos, so these videos sit on the product pages, and over there they are working more like an informational video. So it's not like I'm watching something for entertainment, but if I'm buying a product, I want to make an informed decision. And so that's where the idea is, even if the whole catalog on a particular website has videos, even then the videos will still be engaging for the user. So that's what we think. And then secondly, when we start working with multiple retailers or multiple platforms, the idea over there is, when e-commerce started, people would just click a picture of a product and then start selling it online. But then sometime in 97 or 98, Amazon came up with white background photography, and which then became a standard for e-commerce, the entire e-commerce. And now if you look at some of the product categories, right? So for example, if you want to buy a shirt, there will be 5 standard pictures on every e-commerce platform. So our idea is if we can become a standard in the e-commerce. So if you want to sell a product online, you should have a StoryXpress video. So that's where we want to be in terms of the e-commerce product content. And on the other side, we have started exploring the personalized video for brands. So now imagine you getting a video on your birthday from Starbucks saying, "Hi Priyanka."
I would love
Yeah.
that. You were 21 when you came up with this concept. As you said, you were taking a class in IIT Hyderabad, right? And you kind of came up with this concept and it just evolved into what it is now. So congratulations for that. And I think a lot of our viewers want to know, in this day and age, a lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, right? But when you're that young and you want to become an entrepreneur, you not just face the struggles of an entrepreneur, but you also face the struggle of being that young in and trying to make your product grow into a professional product that you're competing with more experienced people. So how did you deal with that?
Some of the challenges will be like, and then especially in the enterprise space, you would have heard that people saying that if you're buying from IBM, you don't get fired, but if you buy from startup, you get fired, and that's why they would want to work with larger companies.
Right.
And in our case, it was again very difficult that we were startup and then two 22-year-old going and selling to them and talking about.
So how did you overcome that?
So I think to do that, what we did was we got some advisors on board.
When you talk about these bigger clients that you work with, right, like Target, they can easily afford to produce a video, right? I think you had mentioned in one of your YouTube videos that the cost of production is very expensive, though. It's about $8,000 if I'm not mistaken, and maybe 6 weeks of time on average to produce a video. Now, to produce it for an entire catalog would take a long, long time and cost a lot of money. But at the same time, a person like a brand, I would say, like Target or a company like Target could afford it. Obviously, maybe they would turn to a cheaper alternative if they can produce it themselves within 5 minutes. But now, how do you plan to, or do you even plan to go to maybe smaller retail brands and target them as well?
That's definitely in our pipeline, and now like we have started working with some of the smaller brands as well, so who are selling on Target or Amazon or Walmart.
I'm going to switch over into a little bit of a rapid fire round. Because I feel that rapid fire is very effective, because I think when you say the first thing that comes to mind, it's honest. Okay. So I think a lot of viewers would like to know a little bit more about you being so young and you being 25 years old and expanding the way that you are. I think a lot of people are very inspired by you, number one, and they also kind of want to know a little bit more about you. So the way the rapid fire round works is I'm going to say a word or phrase, and you have to tell us the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first item you would shop for online.
I shop clothes online all the time. So
okay. So where have you gone to shop for clothes?
Myntra.
What's your favorite food?
It's difficult to choose one, but then chole bhature.
Okay. What did you feel that you had to give up at between the ages of 21 to 25 that other people your age didn't have to give up?
So I think it would be on the fun side of it. So basically, like I did not go on vacations or did not meet my family for a year or so, things like those. I think if that counts. So yeah. So I think that.
Yeah,
that
and those are big things to give up at 21 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you manage your time now?
So I think it's still work takes most of the time, but then now over the years I've sort
gone on vacations.
Yeah, now I have gone on vacations, but I have sort of discovered over last few years that taking time for your personal life is as important as working on a startup or working on a company.
And was there a specific instance that made you discover that or
Sure.
figure that out?
Like if you look at the how entrepreneurship in India sort of started, right? So there was a time in 2013 or 14 or even 15 there was a lot of venture funding coming in, a lot of startups getting started, and 2016 was sort of a winter where a lot of startups got shut down.
Right.
The venture funding dried, and so we also had a tough time in 2016 where because initially in 2015 and 2016 we were sort of trying to sell to customers based in India.
Yeah.
And they were going through the tough time, not being able to raise funds and so on. And at that time, we also faced the heat. We were not able to raise funds. We were not getting clients in this
Right.
market. Yeah, so that was a tough time, and I think we scaled down from a team of 10 to a team of 2 during that year. And when I sort of started thinking about that time, and when I thought that if I had gone on a vacation, then also things will be in a similar situation, right? So then I thought that I think things takes their own time, and you can just be committed to what you're doing, but then your personal or mental health is as important as running a startup, because if you sort of burn out, then there will be nobody to run this company. So now I have sort of started giving time to myself, and yeah.
So when you were, now you started this company, as you said before, when you were just 21 years old, and granted it started out as a college product. Did you have any idea that it would evolve into what it would evolve to?
I think I did not have the much clarity on where it will go, but yeah, we had a belief that it can become big, but then we did not know what scale it can reach to, and then what kind of complexity it will involve.
If I ask you how to define New India, how would you define it?
So I think New India is fearless. They are ready to take risk, and they want to follow their passion. So if it's at least a certain percentage of the people of New India, if they are passionate about something, they want to do it.
What are some things that you would say young entrepreneurs and maybe entrepreneurs just starting out should be wary of?
They should have the clarity on why they want to start. So if they are starting it for money or for fame, so I think there are better things to do to achieve that.
Right.
Because building a startup is tough, right? So I think they should be clear on what is that motivates them about the product that they want to build. And if they are doing it for the right reasons, they will find out their way. And the other thing is, I think, perseverance. So like the day you are starting, you should know that you are in this for a long time. It's not like things will happen in a month or in a year or in 2 years. Building a large company or a good product takes years of time. So I think, yeah.
All right, and that concludes our NIJ Changemaker interview. This was with Ankit Mishra, who is the CEO of StoryXpress. This is Priyanka Deo for NIJ, signing off.